scholar, intellectual, senior politician, and constitutionalist, Shri Arif Muhammad Khan Sahib, the Hon'ble Governor of Kerala. Respected Shri Arif Muhammad Khan ji started his political career at a very young age as a student leader. He was elected as General Secretary of Aligarh Muslim University Students' Union in 1972. At the age of 26, he was an MLA in the UP Assembly, and at the age of 29, he was an MP in the Lok Sabha. He held several ministerial responsibilities during 1980-86. Notably, Governor Saab is a scholar par excellence. He is the author of Text and Context, Quran and Contemporary Challenges. He is also a well-known writer and columnist on various matters, including religious reform. With my folded hands, I said, sir, टॉपिक जो है ये थोड़ा सा अनकंफर्टेबल हो सकता है, आप मुस्लिम कम्युनिटी को बिलोंग करते हैं, तो कैन आई स्टिल मेक अ रिक्वेस्ट टू यू? एंड आई वाज सरप्राइज्ड, ही सेड कि देखिए इतिहास को भुलाया नहीं जा सकता है. आई डोंट होल्ड पीपल ऑफ टुडे रिस्पॉन्सिबल ऑफ द पास्ट, बट एट द सेम टाइम पास्ट कैन नॉट बी फॉरगॉटन. एंड आई टोल्ड हिम कि सर मेरा मन कर रहा है कि आपके मैं पहुंचूं. And openly, sir, again I am saying, I wish to touch your feet for this sort of sentiment. And sir, now please give us your presidential address.
You are very kind, Dr. Jagmohan ji. Honorable Chief Minister of Punjab, Sardar Amrinder Singh ji, Shiromani Shraddhe, Shri Ravi Shankar ji, Dr. Jagmohan Singh Raju ji, Shri Harinder Singh Sikka ji. I feel honored that you invited me to this online international seminar on the theme of Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Sahab, the epitome of resistance against genocide and conversion of Hindus and Sikhs under Islamic rule in India. And I would like to compliment you and your trust for taking the lead in organizing this event. Whatever we read about Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Sahab, he appears to be unique in many ways. He was the finest example of living by two great Indian ideals of renunciation and service, Tyag or Seva. His Shahadat, martyrdom, was again unique in the sense that as head of the Sikh community, he offered supreme sacrifice to protect the dignity and freedom of conscience of people belonging to a different denomination. On the face of it, as I said, it appears to be very unique and special. But if we look at the history of the Sikh tradition, his act was exactly in accordance with the great Sikh traditions. Can anybody imagine anywhere in the world that the most sacred place of worship of a denomination, the foundation stone being laid by a person belonging to some other denomination? But this is the history of the Sikh traditions. In fact, the whole thing, the Granth Sahib declares, अव्वल अल्लाह नूर उपाया कुदरत के सब बंदे, एक नूर से सब जग उपजा, को भले को मंदे. The life and teachings of Sikh Gurus is very powerful reaffirmation of great Indian spiritual tradition of believing that there is only one single reality in this world, and the reality appears to be many because of the different names and forms superimposed on it. From the remotest times, India has believed in diversity, which implies both acceptance and coexistence. Our ancient traditions have upheld that diversity itself can be a source of strength and that all people should not be confined to one single interpretation of reality. At the beginning of our civilizational journey, the Rig Veda made the proclamation of an eternal truth, Sanatan Siddhant, that reality is one, but is perceived as many. Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. The spiritual legacy we have inherited asserts that the goal of religion is, and if I may use the words of great Swami Vivekananda, each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest this divinity by controlling nature, external and internal. Do this either by work or worship or psychic control or all of them. So, the religion India has always believed in is spirituality, experience of ultimate reality, Brahm Anubhav, or personal encounter with God. The goal of religion is the opening of a new realm of consciousness. When this consciousness arises, we see that the individual parts of the universe derive their significance from the central unity of spirit. This renewal of consciousness is the second birth, what we call twice born. To have this second birth, to be reborn, to be renewed, is the goal of the religious quest. All seers, हमारे सारे ऋषि, whatever be their sect, ask us to rise to the conception of God above gods, who is beyond image and concept, who can be experienced but not known, who is the vitality of the human spirit and the ultimacy of all that exists. This is the highest kind of religion, the practice of the presence of God. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Sahab, as just now has been mentioned by Shraddhe Shri Ravi Shankar Ji and Honorable Chief Minister of Punjab, he was born, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Sahab was born into this spiritual tradition, which naturally challenged the Mughals who had occupied large part of India and who, in pursuit of their imperial designs, sought to terrorize people into submission by force and often resorted to measures that insulted their faith and human dignity. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Sahab grew up seeing his father Guru Har Gobind Ji Sahab fighting some defensive battles against the Mughals. As a child, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was trained in martial arts, swordsmanship and horse riding, but despite being an able fighter, alongside his father in different battles, he seemed to choose a path of renunciation and meditation. It seems that his father had initially recognized this character in Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Sahab. Therefore, Guru Har Gobind Ji Sahab did not choose him as his successor. After his marriage, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji moved to the village of Bakala, where he lived in contemplation and prayers. However, after some time, the turn of events worked in such a way as to ensure that in August 1664, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Sahab was anointed as the 9th Guru. His life as Guru was marked by wide travels through northern India, eastern India, spreading the word of Baba Guru Nanak Dev Ji Sahab. He also started community water wells and community kitchens, langar for the poor. As a leader with diplomatic acumen, he succeeded in settling disputes between people. He also found the city of Anandpur Sahib in Punjab in 1665. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's life is seen as a fine experiment in character building. He showed that by controlling one's negative instincts, even ordinary persons can follow the path of dharma. His sense of philosophical detachment, which was referred to by Shri Ravi Shankar Ji, where he said he was undoubtedly beyond praise and slender and looked upon gold and iron alike and was not touched by pleasure, pain, greed, emotional attachment and egoistic pride. And one of the things which I find highly impressive is where he says that one should neither frighten away anyone nor be scared of anyone. Na bhay det kahu ko, na bhay janat aap. These exhortations of Guruji remind of the teaching of Bhagavad Gita, which says, Yasman nodhi jate loko, lokan nodhi jate chaya. And I love him who scares not people, nor is scared by people. Just now, Rajuji has referred to the values which Sikh community has imbibed from great Guru. We have personally experienced it. Kerala, last year there was a huge flood. Kerala has hardly any Sikh population. There are only few families who have migrated from northern India, about a dozen families. But Delhi Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee, the Gurdwara Committee of London, so many other Gurdwara committees, they came here and people of Kerala remember very fondly how with the sincerity and devotion with which the Sikh volunteers served the victims of the floods year before. And the kind of values which the gurus imparted, and few years back I was reading a book, History of Patiala, which has been written in Urdu by a former Prime Minister of Patiala, Sayyid Khalifa Hassan. At some time he was Prime Minister of Patiala, and he has narrated an anecdote that when some British commissioner was visiting Patiala, and he must have seen a mosque near the palace of Maharaja. During the meeting, this British officer, senior rank officer, he mentioned about the mosque, and he told Maharaja of Patiala, he then Maharaja of Patiala, that Aurangzeb had demolished the places of worship of non-Muslims, and you have a mosque so close to your palace. And Maharaja aptly replied, he said that we have the mosque so close to our palace because we don't want to be remembered in the same manner as you are remembering Aurangzeb. So these are the values which have been imparted, and I was looking at it that Guru Gobind Ji Sahab, he was the son of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Sahab, who was martyred at the orders of the Aurangzeb. Yet, whatever he has written gives the message of very strong inclusiveness. He has, I was looking, he has said, Behura Masjid Soi, Puja o Namaz Oi, मानस सभे एक पे अनेक का प्रभाव है, अल्लाह अभेद सोई, पुरानो पुराण ओई, एक ही स्वरूप सभे, एक ही बनाव है. One cannot find even a trace of hatred or enmity for the faith of the tyrant and for the faith of the oppressors. The fight was against oppression. These are the values which they have given to us, and I would like to compliment you again for organizing this event. And I hope that, as you have already said, that many more such events will be organized during this time to remember the great Guru, for the purpose of inculcating the values which he has given us. And these values, I have absolutely no doubt that these values are deeply rooted in Indian spiritual heritage. Thank you very much. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Jai Hind.
Sir, I have no words to thank you. 20-25 मिनट में सर एक समंदर जैसी नॉलेज और हर एस्पेक्ट, वेदांता से, वेदा से, सिख हिस्ट्री, everything sir you have been able to cover and only you could have done it. And sir, लालच होता जा रहा है कि आपको फिर से रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे 3-4 महीने बाद, क्योंकि ऐसा ज्ञान सर आप ही से मिल सकता है. Thank you so much sir.